good evening, my friends, and welcome to another amazing night with me, the man, the myth, and the legend in my own very own mind. That's right, you're live from Laguna Beach, California, here in our amazing center called The Hive, and I'm your host, Jason McClain. Tonight, we are in unprecedented times. We are in stupid, amazing times. Okay, you start off 2020 with a pandemic, and you've got the coronavirus killing people, the government saying shut down all your companies and your businesses, don't go out to eat, don't eat food, don't call grandma if you have to see her in person, make sure you wear depend diapers, and make sure your world is shuttled and sheltered in place. Then, after the world begins to open up again, moments after the world begins to become somewhat closer to what you and I are accustomed to, we have race riots. We have people out in the streets going absolutely crazy. And all I really want to do is drink wine. And I know that's what you want as well, because the truth of the matter is, this is crazy. I promise you that in the year 2020, you're going to see two more predictions. One, a meteor is going to strike our country and blow up some place called Poopy Doopy 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 Town. And two, aliens are going to invade each of us, and they're all going to bring us chiclets and hard-boiled eggs. And you are going to be forced to eat a chiclet with a hard-boiled egg while you're stuck at home waiting for someone to tell you how much your world could be even worse. This is the amazing part of being in this amazing country, is that we get to experience this crazy stuff together. So listen, welcome to Wine Wednesday. Welcome to McClain Cellars. As you can see behind me, we're 7 o'clock, getting close to shutting down the moment that we all live in, but not before we get to drink wine together, and not before we get to toast the fact that we're not stuck at home deliberately, but you could get out. You just gotta bypass all of the protests and everything else, because this group from 1930s is probably out there with bricks and stuff and making the world different, and you don't even know what news to believe right now. You're like, you've got to be kidding me. How could you go from pandemic to race riots? All right, for those of you who don't know, let me be very clear. One, I'm an African-American male. My mom and my dad both are interracially married. My dad, born in 1936. His mom came off the boat from Europe, and his dad was from Harlem, New York, a proper African-American male. My mother on the other side, same thing. I have a family root that goes into the days of slavery. My great-grandpa Sharpley owned land out in Aberdeen, Mississippi. My mother is a descendant of a concubine of a slave from a slave owner. So I can give you all the stories of an African-American male and what this means. But tonight, I wanted to give you my thought on this whole thing before we start drinking, which is going to be a lot of fun, on Black Lives Matter. Of course they matter, and so do you. Listen, I've never been in a place where I can say to you clearly that I've been shunned left or shunned right because of the origin of my skin. Maybe because I'm very light in complexion. Maybe because I just hang out with different crowds. Maybe because I've got an education and I'm somewhat intelligent and I can speak articulately and I'm not a poo-poo head. Maybe. It's all about your economic level, your non-economic level. I don't really know. But I can tell you, with God as my secret judge, I've worked for absolutely everything I've obtained. I'm 1,000% proud of McClain Cellars and what I've created here. I spent 30 years in .coms. I've gotten a doctorate in theology and biblical studies, and I have made my way in this world despite what some might think or others might think. Now, there's a poverty line in our country. I get it. That poverty line has kept many people oppressed, many people of color oppressed. And that's also created a position of violence or of hatred or difficulty for many different places. But the truth of the matter is, there's something that we could probably do to change that one. I can't tell you what it is. I can give you some thoughts, I can give you some ideas on how you could change the world a little bit different and make one thing left or one thing right, but I don't know if that's the right answer or not. I'm not going to go down that road. But I can tell you, having a family, being the fifth of 5 children, and being in an African American family growing up, the one thing I learned growing up is that you work for everything you get. And if the cards you're dealt don't make sense to you, rise up and get out of that world that you were in. I paid for my college education. I put myself through college. I put myself through school. I did what I had to do. I'm the one who literally rose out of the common levels of wherever I might have been. Whatever my family put me into, I made a choice. So when I built this winery, I built it under one pretense, one reality, that the buck stops with me. And I know clearly that there's a challenge of racism in our country. I know clearly that some people don't see each other the same way. And there's 1,000 reasons why that is. I want to say to everyone watching me right now, every person listening to me, you're getting it from a guy who's a small business owner, who owns a small business, who's an African American male. I can tell you one thing. The one way you can support African American people in this world and support those of different races and creeds is to support the efforts that they engage, support the businesses that they involve themselves to and engage themselves to. Come support me. Come drink with me. Come hang out with me and have a glass of wine. Don't come to my place with a shotgun or try to break through my windows, because you'll not be very happy with the results you're going to get if you want to break down my windows. But come hang out with me and let's be friends. Come hang out with me and let's drink a glass of wine. Because I tell you, with God as my secret judge, the way we include each other is by loving each other, by drinking with each other, and by having a really amazing time learning the differences from where we are and the differences from where we've come from. And I can tell you with no uncertainty, I don't have any friends. I know of no one who doesn't believe the fact that they will judge you and they will judge me by the content of my character and of your character than the color of your skin. But that's not the truth for some police officers, not the truth for some people in politics, for some people on our street, from some guy over there. And we can't turn a blind eye to that. So yes, there's change we need. Yes, we've got to make some adjustments. I can't tell you what they all are. And I'm not going to make this a political engagement to tell you what I think should be done, because the way to make those changes is to vote, is to run for office, and to get things in gear. George Floyd never should have died. Never should have died. And that guy should rot in prison for decades to come. And the cops around him should pay some price for doing nothing. I talked to a buddy of mine, Bill, great guy. He said, listen, I want to go over there, if I was there, and I wanted to say, listen, I'm going to make a citizen's arrest of that cop. But he would get shot, he would get killed. We've got huge problems in this country, and they are there and they are relevant. So my message to you tonight, my message to you today, in all this crazy unrest, is to drink good wine. Make a new friend. Get on the chat roll and stop being complacent and have a life that makes sense. Live, breathe. Come to McClain Cellars. Buy a bottle of wine. So listen, tonight, this broadcast tonight, I'm doing something special. I am going to, listen, I believe that the best way to change a black life, to change any life, regardless of nationality, is through education. And I'm going to donate a proceed of every single bottle of wine sold tonight, between now and the end of this broadcast, to the United Negro College Fund. I want to educate people. I want to put money into getting people who are out there who don't have the money to go to college, don't have the money to get their lives in gear, don't have the money to brick themselves up from the bootstraps and make a change. I'll donate it. So you buy 3 bottles of wine with me tonight, I'll donate proceeds from that purchase directly to the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Listen, we're dealing with crap that was from the 60s, from the 80s, from 2000, from the 40s, from 1860. There's crap all over this country, and they're generationally inspired. And it shouldn't be that way. It should have been dealt with a long time ago. So hopefully people can be peaceful. Hopefully we can find a way out. But even if we can't, Every entrepreneur, every business owner, regardless of your race, needs to take your business in hand and focus on it and help make somebody something amazing. Help make every single thing that you do perfect. Realize that the world is better. And see, here we go. This is the guy who's got the right message. Drinking wine. Why? Because we're all happier when we drink good wine. McClain Cellars wine is designed to do one thing. Make sure that your liver quivers and your shimmy cocoa pops. So pick up the 3 bottles on our website tonight at McClainCellars.com and let me make a donation. Are you ready? I'll put my money out for you to help some kid go to college and start something as great as McClain Cellars. Because if you don't, life sucks. It sucks not having an education, and it really does. And that opens up a whole nother door. Okay, soapbox complete. Time to drink wine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring on a special guest tonight. But before I do, I want you to know tonight's safe word. And it is love. That's right. Love based on our amazing wine, Sacred Love. So I'm going to pour some of this right now. Every time we say the word love, whatever we have to say, you drink some wine. So, Sacred Love is what you should be buying right now tonight, and your world will be better, because if it's not, Oprah's on soon. You can go back to bed and watch Oprah. Oprah's cool. She rocks. But spending money, buying wine is a good thing, and watching Oprah is a good thing, but don't be a poo-poo. Don't go protest. Don't go outside and burn down a building. If you come over here, once again, I got a shotgun with your name on it. I'm not going to let you burn down my building, because that's a no-no. Drink good wine and be happy and love your children. There's a beautiful lady right there, and she could not. You agree with me? Of course she does. Why? Because I'm an American like you're an American, and she's right. We don't need this crap. We've had COVID, now we got protests. Let's just be happy and drink. Happy, 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 happy. Oh my God. Okay, enough of that. So, cheers to McClain Cellars wine. Why? Because we love you. Cheers to you. Salute. All right, tonight's special guest. All the way, you can come with my special guest. I don't mind. I like special guests. All the way from the place which is now locked down. I think the National Guard came in tonight to his hometown. And I did see a few tanks rolling up on the streets. And I saw, barbed wire in front of his fence. It's literally Tustin, California. And this man crawled through the trenches of Tustin, California to be here tonight. And when he did, his hair was not one out of place. This man looked so good going through the protest that he dressed up and made his hair look so good that he can come see me. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Rein is here, the chef, the man, the myth, with the best hair on the planet Earth, Jack Rein. Who, Arsenio! Oh!
Thank you. Was that an intro? Hey, listen, I got something cool. Let's do this first, okay?
All right,
because
he's got a cool thing.
I don't think your friends know this, but Jason just reopened a few days ago.
Yes.
I've not been able to see him since Saturday.
It's been rough, Jack.
When I painted this table 400 times for
Jack
him.
painted the table
What
that I'm on right now.
What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open a little bit
I
of
will have a
champagne
baby
for us.
on this table with
Yes,
Jack.
I am. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it eventually. God, my hands are so...
It's okay, Jack. You need a black man's hands. Here we go. There we go. You see?
that? Oh,
that's
my
the thing.
goodness. Okay,
Black Lives Matter.
see,
Okay.
All right, so we're going to pour champagne. Trisha, get over here. Come
Trisha.
on. Come
Trisha,
on,
where's
Trish.
Trisha? Trisha, idi sudah. Idi sudah, Trisha. Idi
Where
sudah.
is Dominique?
Jesse, idi sudah.
Jesse, get over here.
So listen, we've got Trisha Smith, who's our general manager here at McClain Cellars. She's going to come enjoy some champagne with us. And we've got her fiance, Jesse, who is the best thing since pockets and sliced bread. Do we have Dominique here and her boyfriend, fiance, MacGyver? This guy's amazing too. He can screw things in with his eyeballs. He looks at a screw and it gets in.
Got that one.
Yes, we're going to toast because McClain Cellars is open. We're open every day. Listen,
Yes, we are.
11 to 7, Sunday through Thursday, and Friday, 11 to 9, and Saturday, 11 to 10,
All
and
right.
Saturday and Sunday, live music, because we don't suck, and neither do you. Remember, you don't suck. All right, Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Well, no, it's a pleasure. Where's MacGyver?
He's wet time on.
Okay, so MacGyver left, so we lost MacGyver. It's okay. Scrunch down so I can see in the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege to raise my glass and toast to these amazing people. And look, they're all wearing black because Black Lives Matter. And Jack's got the white hair. We include him because he's our token white hair guy.
Oh, you're lucky I'm alive.
Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers.
Congratulations
To being
on your
open. To
Yeah.
being
Very good.
open. Yes, we like being open.
Oh, that's champagne, all right. Hey, Jason, I understand that you have a sparkling wine up in Northern California.
Well, yes, Jack, I do.
Well, my goodness, tell us about it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
By the way, go ahead, keep drinking.
Keep drinking. They're drinking over there. Matter of
It's
fact,
good.
we can see them here on camera there. There we go. There you go. Now, let's go to the dance cam. The dance cam. And dance. Hang on. I want to hear some dancing. Ready? And... Oh, yeah. Dancing now. Bring it down. Right there. They can see you in the camera. You're live. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Trisha and the dance. Dominique, come on now. Cut a rug now. Cut a rug, Dom. Let's see. Right there. Right there. Right there. You see it? Oh, yes. That's right. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Who's your mama? Who's your grandpappy? Who's your Uncle Joe? Who's your Uncle Joe? Yes, that's right. Booyah.
Here, kill that.
Why? Because we are
Go ahead.
absolutely crazy because we're not at home. And you are. So
Yes, you are.
Come outside.
I will tell you tonight, we're sitting in Laguna Canyon. Now, if you've never been to Laguna Canyon before, it's absolutely spectacular. The canyon is beautiful tonight. There's a beautiful breeze blowing by. It's sunset, and I got to tell you, the ocean literally is about 200 yards that way. So we've got beautiful sunset coming down right now. The weather is just absolutely spectacular. I wish you were in Southern California right now because I think you'd be having a really good time. And you know what the deal is, Jason? I and you are going to collaborate on a cooking show, and we're going to tell everybody about that a little later. Am I right?
I'm all over it. I can't wait to break out the world so you can see it.
And you know what the deal is? There's so much love between the love. Wait a second.
I feel love.
Love between the two of us because he is my brother from a confused mother, as I call him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I love him so very much, and I'm so happy that he's actually back in the swing right now. When do you have a timeline for Buellton to be open?
Well, Buellton is 99% finished. We're waiting for our signage to go up, which will be in about a week. We're waiting for a permit to come from the county of Santa Barbara, which is about a week. And we're just literally days away. You going to Oliver's? Oliver's? Oh, perfect. Never mind. That's good. We love you. You're fine.
There are some restrictions to how you can walk in
No,
the
you should go
parking
to
lot
McClain
these
Cellars.
days.
You're good. Don't bother. Don't ignore what I said. I didn't mean to say that. But they were such nice looking people.
Yes.
We said, you know what?
Fortunately-
They need to they have a nice. The guy has a nice shirt on. The lady looks lovely. The world is amazing. Why? Because we're in America during the COVID-19 post-world that we live in.
So you were about to tell us about your beautiful tasting room in Central California,
Yes.
in Buellton, California,
Yes.
which is in the Santa Ynez Valley,
Yes.
which is one of the greatest wine growing regions in the entire United States. And I have been to his tasting room in Buellton, ladies and gentlemen, 5,000 square feet, 10,000 gallons of wine being stored on premises. There's going to be barrel tasting involved,
Yep.
from what I understand.
That's right. A lot of barrel tasting.
Spectacular, and you've
And
also
barrel
got-
bathing.
and
Like,
you've got
barrel bathing. You
and
can bathe in the wine.
You actually have your first sparkling wine coming out.
I
too?
do. You know what it's called, Jack?
What's it called?
My mother
It's
loves...
called My Mother.
No,
Oh my,
stop
that's
it.
good. That's not a good name. I got to tell you. Okay, don't.
See what I can deal with Jack? See this? Why? Why?
This is my
My
sparkling wine. It's
mother-
called My Mother.
My mother loves Bill Withers. She loves Al Green as well. So we named our Pinot Noir Loving Happiness after Mom.
There you go.
And we named our sparkling wine as well as after my mom because Bill Withers made a song called Lovely Day, and that, my friend, is the name of our new sparkling wine. And it's up in Buellton. It's in the bottle. The labels are going on within the next 4 to 5 days. And we're going to be toasting a lovely day to everyone at the end of June. And we think that Buellton will be ready to go before the end of June. We'll have a soft opening And so by 4th of July weekend, you know where I'm going to be. I'll be in Buellton, California at our new facility, and it could not be better timing than to drink a lovely day with you.
And I've got to tell you, my friends, I've been to Buellton and I have sampled his sparkling wine, and it is like all of the McClain wines. It's spectacular. I sound like such a shill for you, you know, but I got to tell you, you make really good juice, brother.
I try.
Well,
I
you know,
try.
a lot of people try it. A lot of people fail. You have succeeded in all your specific varietals. I got to tell you, it's spectacular wine.
Thank
And
you.
I can't wait for you to see. The town of Buellton is so pretty, and it's so sweet, and it's smack dab in the middle of this fantastic wine region. So if you,
Gorgeous.
if
Six
you want
cool wineries to
oh
deal
man,
with.
I'm telling you, if you
Yeah.
want to come and you want to have a great week or a weekend, or you're planning a trip. Some of the wineries in the Central Valley are just absolutely spectacular. The valley is beautiful. You could do a lot worse for vacation time than spending your time with Jason McClain in Buellton and visiting that beautiful wine region.
You know, today, Tiffany Boyer and Reed Boyer, husband and wife family, moved to Solvang. Many of you know that already. If you don't, it's what they've done. They were managers here at Laguna Beach, McClain Cellars, and now they're managing our Buellton location. Today, they spent the entire day building Adirondack chairs. We've got over a dozen of them that's going into our new landscaping.
Better them than me.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's a lot of work.
I've just got a couple of fountains to make, but the Adirondack chairs I unloaded, and they're
heavy.
They're substantial
They're
pieces
substantial.
of furniture.
Yes, they are very, 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 very substantial. I love it, 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 love it.
It's going to be gorgeous. Hey, so tell us about this, because as I'm looking around,
Yeah.
I know last week you were, or last Saturday I should say, was your first time out on the patio, right?
It was.
And the patio is really great, and it's doing really spectacular business right now. And
So-
I'm so proud to be associated because you figured this all out by yourself, according to ABC, which is the local liquor licensing thing, okay?
Yep.
They made you jump through like 600 hoops.
Yep.
You've got all sorts of crazy things going on, and you just made it work. And I'm so very happy that I'm part of this whole production.
Well, it's very cool. If you look around here, I'm showing the camera right now. We've got a nice outdoor lounge. We got new cushions coming for the outdoor lounge here in the next couple of days, where you can actually sit, 5, 6 people hanging out, just you and your friends, and just enjoying the outside. You can sit by one of the barrels, and you can see there's Trisha over there in the corner. Hello, Trisha. Trisha's there. And you can enjoy sitting down with your friends and your family. More couches over on the other side. All the wine barrels have bar stools around them. We're shutting down right now because during the week we shut down around 7. Weekends are open till 9 or 10 p.m. of course. But this is now what we've got by God's grace through the end of the summer. And you know what? It happened as a direct result of literally the Laguna Beach Beer Company doing a really great job talking to the city of Laguna Beach, being a real advocate for us. The owner of our center, Mo Honecker and the Honecker family, wonderful people, who've done a great job working together. And then all of us got together, and since all of the restaurants and everything else in our area are all 100% shut down, we decided to come together as a team. So we went out and bought barrels and bought picnic tables and painted them and put them all together. And we literally created this amazing outdoor space that is really, the best thing since pockets and sliced bread. And I love it. It really is. So the ABC, which is the Alcohol Beverage Control Board, gave us all the authority out here to do what we're doing. And now all summer long, you can be outside or inside. And so whether it's a private party, whether it's just hanging out and being stupid, or just drinking good wine, you can do this. You can come out to Laguna Beach and entered at Laguna Beach. Now listen, all of our places are 6 feet apart. Now Jack and I, we sleep in the same bed when we go up to Santa Ynez a lot, and he's just. By the way, his white hair, his soft hair, it goes all over. Jack does have this all over essence of him.
I do.
And so
That's right.
we've been friends forever, and we're comfortable.
My biggest problem is that none of my clothes have pockets or sliced bread, and I'm hoping that someday Jason will allow me to have some, because he keeps telling us how wonderful
we
they
could
are.
share the same pants leg.
Pockets and Yeah, and get into a three-legged race.
And get into a
That
three-legged
sounds like
race.
so much fun.
Exactly.
Let's do that.
Jack, let's go to the chat roll for a second.
Okay,
We've
yeah,
got some
because
friends.
please, do we have friends? We still have friends? You kidding me? This may be.
Give us a comment
I
on the
can't
chat.
wait to see the playback on this because this is going to go down in history.
Give us a comment on the chat if you want to talk to us. Let's take a look at who we got in the chat roll. We'll tickle through your comments. Let's see here. Von Hester says, can't wait to be elbow to elbow with the peeps this summer, drinking some good juice. According to Jack, love it, love it. Letitia says, it looks great. Phil says, loves the song. It's a great sparkling wine. Phil, you're 100% right. Kara, I leave and all hell breaks loose. That's right. By the way,
babe.
Kara Young, Kara Renee Young is one of our newest members here at McClain Cellars. Kara's great. Kara started as a wine club member, became a founder wine club member. Now she's one of our full-time employees.
Yeah, I give her-
We lost all of our part-time employees during COVID. All of our full-time are back, but every part-time person says we can't come back to work for one reason or another. And it may be that they're making more money working from home and getting that extra $600 a week that the government wants to give away that we can pay taxes on later. Or maybe they've got other scenarios or challenges, but we lost everybody. So if you're looking to come join the McClain Family Cellars family, we'd love to have you in gear. But we've got right now, we're down to 4 full-timers, and they're going to work their butts off to give you the best time ever. Why? Because Trisha Smith is really a CIA operative. She's been in Yemen, she's been in Iran, she had 4 tours in Iraq, and I like to say that Trisha is more than just a girl. She is, hang on, wrong button. I got buttons here. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the spy. She's the Trisha.
She is the GM
Can
of
you see her?
GMs. I got to tell you, you're so
That's
fortunate
right.
to have her.
She's a CIA
She's
operative.
totally
and
underpaid.
she's
She's
amazing.
totally overworked. And you know what? I got to tell you, I think that Kara is going to last about 2 weeks before you drive her nuts. But that's just another
She
story.
can't. I'll give her a I'll give her wine.
Have you already driven her nuts?
I'm born that way. I'm born that way. I'm born that way. Oh my goodness gracious.
Like Madonna, ladies and gentlemen, he was born that way.
Phil Hare from Colorado says, please tell Trisha, thank you for us, McClain Founders members from Colorado. We got our McClain delivery today, 1 day early. That's because Trisha rocks, and so do you.
That's right.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Let's see here. Phil, a lot of good comments. Jason, you should run for office, except I don't want to see you turn off to the swamp. Absolutely well said. We need sanity amongst Americans and Americans. That's very, very true. I agree you with joy in that one. Jennifer, great message. Gregory, love what I said on Black Lives Matter. Jennifer, love what I was saying. Honestly, it's great to see all the feedback. People love the statement I made on Black Lives Matter. And you know what? It's it's a new world to engage what we're doing. So Jack, what are your thoughts? Because I just said basically, go to work. If you can't, let me help you. But you got to go make a living and don't burn down my business. Or, and then that's another story.
I take a lot of comfort from the fact that former President Obama was on TV tonight, and he said something that I think was very profound. He said, there was never a moment in our country's history where protest didn't change things. Protest is the protagonist that changes things in the United States, and I agree with him. If you take a look at the entire arc of our history, from the time that we signed the Declaration of Independence, and the flawed notion that we were a slaves nation at that particular point in time, to the point where in 1865 we finally signed the Emancipation Proclamation, to the riots of the 1960s, until this particular day, the arc is not complete. Protest is always the medium where things change. I am so proud of every single peaceful protester that is walking across the United States today. I'm not going to address the carnage, nor am I going to address the looters, because it seems that there's always a fringe element. But I have to tell you, I am so proud of America tonight that we're able to get up as a country, and we're able to stand up for a single black man and what he represents, which is so much of a larger context that I don't believe that I have the intellect or the heart to to talk about it. I get choked up about it. I'm very proud to be an American tonight. I'm very pleased to be with you because you know what it's funny when Jason says that he's a black guy. I stop and I say, wait a minute, you're black? Because I never see the color of his skin. I've met his family. His family is absolutely wonderful. My best first grade was a kid named Michael Johnson. Michael was black. I never understood the fact that black or white mattered. I was raised in a really wonderful household where it was you were judged by the content of your character and not by your melatonin content. So we, as a business, are kind of at a crossroads right now because if we don't take a strong stand, if we don't try to tell people how we feel, then we're letting everybody else down. And so I'm proud to be your friend. I'm proud of your accomplishments. I have an enormous respect for the things that you've had to go through. He didn't tell you the whole story, folks. It's not been easy for him. He made it sound like it was this skate through the park. It wasn't. But tonight is a special night for all of us because we know that America cares. And whenever we're all filled with that, it raises all of us.
Yeah. My mother, she lives in Maryland right now. She's a wonderful person. I looked at all these protests and all these things that were happening across the land. And I look at these young kids, 15, 19, 20, 30 years old where they were, and they're looting and doing these little things and saying, I've been oppressed, I've been this and that. And I said to myself, I said this to Mark actually. So Mark, you guys know Mark Barley, a good friend of mine in Jackson. Mark and I see each other every morning at 6:30 in the morning for a nice long walk, and we hang out together and we chit chat a little bit. And I said to him, you know what? Nobody has the right to talk about how they personally have been discriminated against but my mother. Because, she was, in the 60s and the 40s and the 70s and everything you've gone through. And she's a descendant of a slave and a slave owner and multiple concubines. And that's where my lineage came from. And that's where, the lightness of my complexion came because of that distress and that pain and that sorrow that came out of the wrong engagement of life at that time. And that was normal back then. So she's got the right to stand up and say what she's gone through. She's got the right to be in pain. She's got the right to have a prejudice over what she feels because she physically felt it. And she physically felt it. And no one else has that degree of a right. Now, she also has the opportunity, which she has done, to overcome that one and to forgive and to move forward and to find a path forward. And she's done an amazing job of that. But until you've felt the oppression or the difficulties of slavery in your own right, in your own life, you don't really have, if you've not felt it, you don't have a right to really stand up for every single person in the world, in my thoughts and my opinions. And you have a place that you can forgive and you can engage. And if that's a two-way street in the world, it's always good. Unfortunately, the political systems of our government and our world that we live in and the way people are raised these days have opened up a whole nother. Good night, Mo. That's Mo. We like Mo because without Mo, we would have no patio.
Without Mo, we would be no.
Exactly. So it's a different world that we live in right now. And you know what? Like I said, no judgment, no engagement, no political statement left or right. But my mom is one of those people who fought through all those afflictions and engaged them. And they weren't easy for her. The stories I've heard that she went through, they chapped my butt. I mean, they freak me out thinking about how bad things were back then in those days. And today, they're not great. They're not amazing, but they're way better than they were. But right now, we deal with an underlying current of a group or a small group or a medium group, a group, whatever it might be, helping to try to influence where we are today. So I want to stand up here with encouragement and with strength and with conviction and say to every person listening to my voice, whether you're on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, every one of the channels we're broadcasting to right now, and there's about 20 of them that we're broadcasting to let me tell you right clearly, as a small business owner, as an African American male, as a man who has pride in his God and his family and his children, as a man who will be happy to take his gun to bed with him to make sure that I live through my First and Second Amendment rights, as a man who is a product of a family who spent years in the military. My father, 49 years in the Army, my brother, 27 years in the Navy, my other brother, 14 years in the Navy, another brother, 6 years in the Air Force, my mother in the school system for 35 years, my sister for over 30 years in Washington Post, American flags tattooed on my left butt cheek. I can tell you, I'm not going to burn anyone's house down. I'm going to love you until the day you die. And I'm going to tell you, if you come support me, I'll support you. And this is how the world gets better, by supporting each other and truly making America properly great again.
My grandmother, I'm sorry, when I talk about grandma and grandpa, I tear up a little bit. My grandfather was a Romanian guerrilla fighter, and my grandmother was a Romanian gorilla.
Lord.
Needed to lighten up there a little bit
Jack.
there, Jason. Would you?
Jack.
Come on now. Oh, you know.
Jack.
All right, so listen. Hey, we have got to make the announcement about the cooking show.
Yes, 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we love hanging out. And you know what we love more? All those days we spent when we were stuck in the house during the COVID-19 pandemic, and we're still in it. But I just choose not to be at home anymore because I can't stand hanging out with my children every single day, because it's just, honestly, you're going to Oliver's, you go around this side. Yeah. Sorry, everyone comes through Oliver's through the winery, and they just can't, so we just have to keep kicking them out. And so if they don't drink good wine, then they have to go over there.
Welcome to McClain Cellars.
Exactly, yes. It's called private property.
There are rules.
There's rules to getting gear
Without
on.
rules, there's chaos.
Exactly, and you will find yourself having cold biscuits. Cold biscuits, lovey, cold biscuits. That's what I'm telling you right now. Oh my
What were you
God.
saying?
I forgot.
Okay, we were about to talk about the cooking
Oh
show.
yeah, the cooking show.
What we missed was the cooking show. Am I
cooking show.
right?
The
I mean,
cooking
it was.
show.
We did. We really missed that, didn't we? You weren't going to get there eventually. I just thought I would cut to the chase because you know what? I can frickin' cook, folks.
He can.
All right.
Yeah, he's a cooking master. Matter of
Yes.
fact, he cooked his own left butt cheek last week.
Yes, I did. Okay.
He filleted, deep fried it, slapped it up, flipped it, and rubbed it down. Oh no!
It was wonderful. And I ate it myself. Listen, here's the deal, okay? All right. Want to be serious for a second?
Okay, fine.
Because this really pertains to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to announce that webinar chef Jack Rein is going to lead the McClain Bistro cooking show once a week starting in July.
Chef Jack's Bistro.
Chef Jack's Bistro.
Chef Jack's Bistro. We're going to call that's the working title anyway. We're going to kind of try to come up with something a little more clever.
It's a build up for the McClain Bistro restaurant, which is actually opening in Costa de Casa. So if it's Chef Jack's Bistro, then he'll be on a different channel because he'll be engaging out.
My prime directive is not to try to poison Jason McClain, and I think I will be very successful in that. Okay. So no, seriously, friends, you know what? I miss you guys. I loved the interchange that we had when I was cooking. Let me tell you a little bit of my background. I'm not a classically trained chef. I'm not a trained chef at all. As a matter of fact, I was raised in a really busy polyglot household. Can I talk to that camera or should I talk to that camera?
Well, if you want to talk to people, talk to that camera.
I'm going to talk to this camera because you know what?
You want to go on your camera by yourself?
I go on camera by myself. Okay.
All right. So Jack wants to like take the moment.
Yeah, I do. I want to take the moment.
Karen said, "Love the broadcast. Second Amendment shout out and your shirt. Need to know source so I can get one for Phil." You got it, girl. Robert Graham. Robert Graham is the best shirt for any man in the world.
Having said that,
let's go direct, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jack Rein, and it is. Hang on, I can press the button. Jack Rein, and there we go. All right, there we go.
So,
Jack, just go. Just there you go, Jack. Just talking to the camera.
I appreciate that.
There you go. Just be yourself, Jack.
I love to cook. I was raised by two grandmothers. Oh, love. Right, you got it. Okay. Yeah, all right, love. I was raised by two grandmothers. Now, if I had a picture of the two grandmothers that I could put side to side, you would see that there was something remarkably different about them. One was a Romanian housefrau. who was raised as a peasant, and the other one was a society girl from Chicago. The common denominator between these two grandmothers was they could cook. And so I grew up in kitchens that were just beautifully fragrant, and everything was wonderful, and the food was great. The thing that was the common denominator was, and I've said this before, family is the most important thing. When you cook for people, you nurture people. So our cooking show is going to be very, very different, because what it's going to be family oriented. What we're going to do is we're going to take the entire cooking process and we're going to try to involve every member of the family, whether they be toddlers who can just kind of sort of squeeze tomatoes in their hands, or maybe pour a little salt or pepper into something, okay? Get them involved in it. We did that just the other night. I did a little cooking demonstration for some friends of mine, Simon and Jennifer and Luna. And Luna was right in the middle of things. And Luna's like 5 years old, and she's an experienced cook. Your kids can cook. You can cook. All of our families can do something really different, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to feature easy dishes that are really easily replicable, and you can make certain that you can cook this stuff in your kitchen. I shop at Stater Brothers and Albertsons and all of the big markets and all that kind of stuff, so I don't go to really exotic purveyors of meat or seafood or poultry or whatever. But what I do is I take ingredients and I'm able to turn ingredients into something really good. In the first Wednesday of July, and we're going to do a little run up to this, we're going to do some demos and all that kind of stuff. We're going to have a really good time just making certain that we have a really good basis, because we want to premiere this in front of as many people as possible, because we think we have something really, really wonderful happening, Jason. And I appreciate the fact that he's given me a couple minutes to talk about it. And you and I are going to be able to cook together, because I want you and I to love cooking, Jason.
Cheers.
Love cooking.
Love. You know, I
Jason,
just
what's the secret word?
love.
Okay. All right.
So my mother
Yeah.
just texted me right
Oh,
now.
I can't wait.
She goes, "Oh my goodness, your mother. Love your speech, making me sweat." Jack is great, no problem. Don't need to answer. Don't know why I can't chat. Mom's not technically engaged sometimes. But love what I said on the BLM. So listen.
Well, if your mom doesn't love you and she doesn't love the show, nobody loves you or loves the show. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
By the way, we're practicing social distancing right now. I have been in quarantine with Jason for months now, and I have no worries.
Seriously speaking.
Yeah, because he doesn't talk to anybody all day, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch. So cooking show coming up with Chef Jack, can be fun in July. Can't wait.
Will be fun.
Listen, I'm going to be clear and honest and direct with you guys. This whole thing, listen, in the COVID-19 era, going through the pandemic and everything else and being sheltered in place and stuck at home and shut down, it was emotional. I don't know about you, but being stuck at home every single day and not going outside, it was very emotional for me. It was difficult not to be able to see my friends and go out and see you. It was difficult to be stuck at home and just waiting for the other shoe to drop and not knowing which news broadcast made sense or which was fake news. So we've all kind of gone through this emotional roller coaster, which is the pandemic, and it's been hard, it's been difficult. Now we're faced with a race riot. Where we've got some groups which are trying to make the point known, and we've got some groups who are trying to mourn the loss of a young man, and we've got some groups who are just trying to be heard. Our country is going through a turmoil and a transition and a difficult time, and it hurts me. It really pains me. And I joke, I get in these webinars with you guys twice a month or twice a week, and I make all kind of dumb jokes. I say things that probably I shouldn't, or I'll make statements that will just make your eyeballs crawl. And I don't really care because
really? You?
Yeah, I do.
Shut up.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Left toenail.
Are you kidding me?
Left toenail. and they don't care because it's okay. It's okay to be yourself. But I want to encourage everyone watching tonight and you at home that it's time to make a difference. It's time to sow a seed. It's time to help some kids. And we are just down the street from the YMCA, and these kids don't have the privileges we have. Now listen, I worked my butt off for over 50 years trying to make a life for myself and my family, but not everyone has that opportunity. Not everyone has that privileged opportunity to get things in gear. So I'm going to encourage you, before we end tonight's broadcast, to take my challenge. Pick up 3 bottles of wine. Yes, you're supporting a small business. You're supporting a black-owned business. This is a good thing. But you're supporting me and Sophie and our kids. But more than that, I want to take that money that you buy tonight, whether you buy 3, 6, or 12 bottles, and I'm going to give it to help somebody else go to college and help them get an education so that one day they can realize a dream of being an entrepreneur. Listen, and I'm going to be very frank and very honest with each of you right now. So being born with one hand, I was ridiculed as a kid. I was beat up all the time. I was shoved into lockers. And I was the last kid to be picked on any game. And it was really freaking sucky. It wasn't good. It was a horrible childhood growing up, being ridiculed and picked on and called names all the time. So imagine what it's like for me, and imagine what it's like for a young man who doesn't have the income, or a young woman who doesn't have the home life, or they've got a broken separation at their home. They're in the exact same world, and they're dealing with the challenges we have in our political systems. People need help, and to help people who need help is really what we should all be doing as people. When I built McClain Cellars, I built it for one thing: to be a part of significant emotional events in people's lives, to make a difference. From different than standing on a pulpit and speaking words to tell people that your life can get better and you can do another job or you can engage in different. My goal was to be forming a significant emotional event in people's lives. So I did that by making wine. I did that by putting my best foot forward. And I began meeting people, and I meet people when they're drunk, when they're sober, when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're getting married, when they're getting divorced. I get them in all. I get them coming and going, when you're dead, when you're alive, when you're born. I get them all. But the one thing I've always known is that everybody has a dark side. Everyone has a place that they want to forget. I want to forget the time when a guy named Tommy kicked me in the teeth right after I caught a ball and he got out playing kickball, and he called me a one-handed monkey and beat the crap out of me on the base. So all the things I've dealt with, all the things that you've dealt with, all the good times and the bad times you've had in your life, whatever they are, imagine that there are kids that, based on the color of their skin and the predicament of their environment, they're going through hell. So I want to donate money tonight to the United Youth College Fund. And maybe that makes some people help. Maybe that doesn't. Maybe it's something that's going to engage somebody. Maybe somebody will learn from it. But pick up a few bottles of wine and let me take that money and give it together. I'm going to match every dollar that you put out tonight, every bottle you buy, every olive oil, whatever you buy between now and this broadcast. I'm going to take that amount, I'm going to double it and give it all to them. Because somebody's got to give a damn. Somebody has to care enough to realize it's not political. It's not about your upbringing. It's not about your mom or your dad. And you don't have a right to be a dick. And I said it live, on the air, to everyone watching us. You don't have a right to be a dick. You have a right to live. You have a right to breathe. You have a right to practice our laws and constitution. You have a right to dream. You have a right to fail. You have a right to rise up. And you have a right to be a friend. So I want to be a friend to anyone who needs some help. And I want you to do the exact same thing with me. Let's change the world. Let's change the world one person at a time, no matter who you are or where you're going. Life is better over a glass of really stupid good wine. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All right, that's my soapbox.
By the way, I have an Uncle Richard. He may take offense.